Hello, everyone. Welcome to Collabcast with Sam and Pete. This is our last one for the year, so we're excited that you're here with us today. You got a special treat because we're going to be the producers and the presenters this time. We are actually going to talk today about Teams templates. So, within healthcare organizations as a whole, we've gotten a lot of feedback that whether it comes to creating, organizing, managing teams and channels, you need easier ways to do that more effectively. So, next slide, Pete. We're going to present to you a little bit around Teams templates. We'll show you a little bit of a demonstration around where you can actually go in to do that. We'll talk about how it plays in with the Microsoft Graph, and then we're going to give you some resources afterwards so that you can follow up there. So to get us started here, let's go ahead and talk about where the recording is going to be posted afterwards. It'll be on our HLS blog, like always, aka.ms/HLS blog, and this event, along with a lot of our webcasts, are brought to you by the Microsoft Healthcare and Life Sciences group. So make sure to, if you find relevant content, make sure to direct people to our blog afterwards. The recording will be there, and we want to hear from you. So if there's anything you want to dive deeper into after this, we are all ears and happy to set up a session to dive deeper. So next slide here. Just some housekeeping items. We want you to ask us questions. That's what we're here for. We're going to moderate. Pete and I will both be looking. Whoever's not presenting will be checking out, hey, who's asking questions? Who's letting us know where they're from? We love to give shout outs. I'm in New York City, Pete's in Pennsylvania, and we get people from all over the world. So let us know where you're coming in from. And now, if you've never done a Teams live event before, then you just pretty easily can interact with us through the Q&A panel. So up on the upper right-hand side, there's a question mark with a box around it. If you click that, then you're going to be able to add any questions that you want, any comments that you want to make, and we'll moderate it behind the scenes. If you want it to be a private discussion, that's totally fine. We can talk to you privately. We can post questions that a lot of people are asking about to the general audience. We'll pause in the middle of our presentation. Definitely want to get some interaction from the audience, and we always get a lot of engagement, so thanks in advance. So that's actually, thanks Pete, that's where the Q&A panel is. And again, just let us know any comments or questions. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with the presentation. As I mentioned, we definitely want to go back to the basics. Okay, what are Teams templates even? They're fairly new as of this year, so want to make sure that you kind of get a strong foundation there. Then we'll talk a little bit about the Graph API and how you interact also with the admin dashboard on the Teams side, the differences there. Pete's going to do a demonstration live for you on the creation of that in the administrative dashboard of a Teams template, and then a little bit of showing of how your users are going to interact with the templates too. And as always, we have resources for you. Those will be on this slide, but then we'll also post it on the blog afterwards. So feel free to reference it again at aka.ms/HLS blog. So let's go ahead and get started. So what are even Teams templates? So Teams templates generally are pre-built definitions of a Teams structure, and it's designed around usually a business need or a project, right? The reason the templates were made is to make your life easier when you're creating teams, when you're managing teams. Within the admin dashboard, you can use pre-built templates. You can also extend that use in using the Microsoft Graph. And it really becomes, when you create this team, this rich collaboration space. I know a lot of my customers want to duplicate the really successful teams that they've already created. That's another use case for Teams templates. So it's really that predefined team structure so that you don't have to go and start from scratch every single time, and you can provide a lot of consistency across your organization in terms of the teams and the channels that you have. So The three listed here on this slide are the three different ways to actually start a new template, and Pete's going to go over them with you. You can create something brand new. You can use an existing team as a template, or you can start with an existing template. So we'll show you the lay of the land there. So on the next slide here, we'll talk about specific healthcare examples. So if you're responsible for planning, deploying, managing a lot of teams across your organization, you might want to use the admin center, which Pete's going to show a little bit of, but we also wanted to touch quickly on the Graph API. Now, there's a lot that you can do with Microsoft Graph. If you're a developer and you want to like programmatically create a team and you want to have those predefined channels and apps, you might want to be utilizing the Graph. If there is interest here, we are totally open to setting up a separate session. Just to give you a little bit of a teaser, the Microsoft Graph is really our gateway to data intelligence in all of Microsoft 365. So it's this unified model that you can use to access all of your data across M365, Windows 10, enterprise mobility and security. It's a wealth of data in the Graph to build these apps for your organization that interacts with millions of users. So it really powers the M365 platform. And the Graph essentially exposes REST APIs, it accesses the data, and you can make changes inside of your different M365 services. Now, with that being said, how does that actually apply to you today? I know a lot of people from healthcare are referencing these webcasts, so we wanted to give you a picture of the base templates specifically for healthcare that are using the Graph API. So you can see on the left-hand side the type of healthcare template. So there's the healthcare ward, which might have more like announcements, huddle spaces. Maybe you need staffing and training, as you can see with the different channels on the right-hand side. Whereas in a hospital, you might need compliance, pharmacy, HR, more custodial. So these are just a couple of examples of the base healthcare templates that we have, and Pete will take you through how exactly to access those using the admin center. But just so you know, you can extend it even further using the Graph API, and we have resources for you on the actual GitHub that will take you through step-by-step samples that you can use that will directly show how to connect to the Graph API. So just so you know, that's there. Please let us know if you have interest in that. We're totally open to setting up a different session and diving into that deeper with you. So with that, the resources that we wanted to show is we have a lot of things in here. These are usually the things that we reference to get people started, whether it be creating templates using the Graph, creating templates actually in the administrative center within Teams, using templates in the admin center and kind of monitoring and managing them. These are the 6 places we would say to start, but if you do have any specific questions, we are all ears. We're here for you today. And Pete's going to take you through a little visual walkthrough of what you can do within Teams directly. And we're open to your feedback and questions. So with that, Pete, I'll turn it over to you and you can start sharing your desktop and giving people a little picture of what it looks like.
Thanks, Sam. Let me get there. So one of the nice things about leveraging the web UI over Graph is just how simple it is. So that's basically what I'm going to demonstrate for you guys today, is the simplicity to be able to create and manage templates for your environment. So if you look here, I came into the Teams admin portal under Teams. There's a list of options, Teams templates. And you come in here and you can see who they're published by. Microsoft has a series of pre-populated templates for you guys to leverage and use. And one of the nice things is you can look at them. Maybe it's collaborate on patient care, and you can go in there, you get all the details about what this template includes. But if you say, hey, yeah, I like that, then I can come in here and I can just go duplicate, essentially create a clone and go through. And at this point, I have a decision to make. Do I want to add some additional channels, or apps. Maybe I want something, like project. I can add that in there. And now you'll see I have this new collaborate on patient care clone, which is what I named it, which is the exact copy of the pre-canned Microsoft template with the additional app. So super, super simple to identify one that you might be interested in and just clone it. But to Sam's point earlier, there's other ways to do it. Those templates might not suit your needs. So you can say, hey, I have some really successful teams. I want to copy those teams. We put a lot of effort into the channels and the app creation, and it's worked really well for us. So when you do that and you choose that option, it'll then list out all the existing teams that you have within your organization, and you can select the one. Let's pick that one, Project Mark. Select the one you want, and now it uses that as a template, and it takes you through the same process as the other one. Put in there just to make it easy. And let's see, just because my last life, I pretended I was a project manager for a little while, pretend like I know project. Done, right? So it's a very simple method for IT to go in there and say, hey, I want to create a whole bunch more, right? From the end user perspective, it's super as simple, right? I come in here, I go to join, create a team, select from template. You'll see this is the the clone. This is the one I just made for you 2 seconds ago. This is the copy, the duplicate that I did of the Microsoft template that I created 45 seconds ago. And here are some others that I've created in the past. Right. So now my users can come in here and very easily say, I want to use that template. And it'll say, okay, you check that template. Here's what it includes. And then it'll ask you some basic Teams provisioning questions like, do you want it public or private? What do you want to call it? Because I have very little creativity, I'll just call it test template. Okay, live demo that failed for me. Let's try it again. Description in there. And you'll see it's thinking there, but you can see in my Teams client right there that already dropped right in there. So it tells me, feel free to close. They're going to continue doing stuff in the back end to get it all spun up. But now it's here. I can go in there and say, easy peasy, right? Just a matter of seconds. Any questions on that so far, Sam? Pretty straightforward, I know.
Yeah, not so far. Super easy setup. But yeah, feel free if you have any questions. We are here for you if you want to go through any of the healthcare samples that Pete has set up.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. It's built for simplicity, and it's really meant to make your lives a little bit easier when it comes to teams and channels within your organization.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Pete. Let me share my screen here and I will go ahead and remind everyone of where to go after this. All Awesome. So thank you so much for attending. We wanted to keep it short and sweet today. And as always, we will be at aka.ms/HLS blog. I'll upload the recording and the resources that we mentioned. And we're excited to get you started using Teams templates. Hopefully you saw how easy it was. And give us some feedback. Happy to dive into any content that you need for your healthcare work. Have a good holiday season, everyone.
Take care.